Hello. Are you all right? Yeah. I'm just going to do one poem for you. I hope you enjoy it. I thought I would do a poem, and it's dedicated to David Cameron, and it's a poem that I wrote. Basically, I've got a 7-year-old daughter, and I guess like a lot of people, when I was pregnant, I sort of had this idea of what sort of parent I would be, and one of the main things that kept coming into my head was, by the time my daughter was on the school run, we'd have these sort of like, almost like a Costa coffee morning sort of thing, getting ready, and we'd be sitting at a big table, I don't know, eating croissants or something other than Cocoa Pops, and I'd be sipping a cup of coffee, and I'd have the newspaper out, and I'd be like reading her stories from the newspaper, and I imagined in my head that she'd sort of, I guess, look at me the way that Harry looks at Dumbledore, though that's not a good reason to have a baby, I do realise, but that she'd sort of look at me as this like wise older woman, and she'd listen to everything I say, and she'd say things to me like, "That's really interesting, Mum. I'm so glad you're reading me the newspaper, tell me more." But that never really happened, and she just walks off and rolls her eyes and says whatever. But this poem is about the one time she did actually want to hear more of the story, and we sat down and have a conversation about it. So I've sort of got David Cameron to thank for making me feel like a good mother for one day in my life. And it's called A Dead Pig, And for anyone that doesn't know it, I did a gig in Cheltenham Literature Festival about 3 months ago, and this woman came up to me and said she doesn't know why I had to read this vulgar poem, and what did David Cameron do anyway. So she didn't know, but I thought everybody knew. So just for those of you who hadn't read the story, apparently he might have put his penis in a pig's mouth in one of those parties that we all go to as teenagers, you know, at Eton. We've all done it. So I read her this story, so it's about... Also, I realised that maybe it's not a very good thing to read a 5-year-old a story about this. I had a health visitor at a gig before, and she said that that's probably not a good thing for her to know, but but she was interested in it, and I did it, and it's probably one of the many mistakes I will make as a parent. So yeah, I hope you have a lovely night. A dead pig, I watch your 5-year-old brain grappling to understand what adults do as normal, because you don't yet know exactly how our social rules work. I read you the newspaper again today, told you how some say the Prime Minister, the Conservative one, you ask. I nod, put his knob, I say Willie, of course, into a dead pig's mouth when he was younger. You stare at me, expression dropped, silent for a moment, wondering whether that is as unusual as it seems. You check the facts with me. He's Willie, Mum. In a pig's mouth, Mum. A dead pig, Mum, You stare at me, then to the air your mind collates the data. You investigate some more, clipboard, pen to paper. You question me again, ask with the cutest curiosity if it is better because the pig was dead. I don't know, really. Anyone got any answers, just let me know after. If it was hard to get his willy out, if I have ever put my fanny into a dead pig's mouth, not understanding if this new piece of news is just a game you don't yet know about, like Monopoly or Scrabble, just something adults do, like using different knives and forks and spoons when different people come to tea, like killing turkeys every Christmas, like making posh food out of force-fed ducks, like watching horses run in circles, like shaving poodles into different shapes, like punching in somebody's head when one team of men kicking balls kick more balls in a net. We make dinner, change the subject, build a cave house out of Lego blocks. Your dad comes back, kisses you, asks you how your school day was. You ignore his question, look at him, get the clipboard out, inquire if he has ever put his willy into a pig's mouth. No. Or a chicken's, or a sheep's. You list farmyards worth of options, till it is clear from the consistency of negative responses that this is not a standard place for any private part to be. You correct yourself. Check one last time. A dead pig, Dad, Thank you, have a lovely, lovely night.
Hi, Merry Christmas. So I'm going to do a poem about faking orgasms. In particular about a lady friend that my old flatmate had, and we could overhear them a lot. And I guess what I'm saying is I've slept with my old flatmate as well, and it wasn't that good, so. Only I am awake on this anchorless planet, a ghost haunting the house with the anamnesis of the night before and several resting bodies lying dormant on my floor. All of my energy is borrowed chemical, on loan from lonely tomorrow me, to be that girl dancing gentle in the kitchen's shivering light to music muted for the morning. All my clothes stink of the disintegrating night, and I am finally defeated by my need for sleep. I've wrung the fun from this one and can no longer defy the day, so I go to my bed, and my lover, snoring soft as the hand dryer in the pub downstairs, thunder and wonderfulness, he is hot and driftwood. I grasp so that I am on earth and focus my outrageous brain on breathing in and out, and wait for the tide to take me. But then I hear that noise that we all know from next door. That subtle shift in sheets and squeaks and springs and fuck, my flatmate's having sex. My hush-hush Eden erupts with lethargic lust, the percussion of each lazy thrust, the certain sounds of love being had. I think to throw a cough their way, to say that they are not alone in consciousness, but am entranced by her performance. Surely it is too soon for such vocal enjoyment, at such volume anyway. I think of my own tired trysts, de-pajamaed, muffled gasps stuffed in pillowcases so as not to bother, ecstasy squeals slipped quickly, grabbed and gulped back, a too loud smack, a shh. But she wants the world to hear her love, her honey morning, her moaning like a mammoth in a trap, and squealing like a mouse is in her lap, groaning to the God-filled skies while I politely pretend not to hear this consistent and insistent howling joy. How it reminds me of 1,000 lonely bedrooms lit by the dingy glow of a single screen. This is paradise impersonated. Now, perhaps I should just love and let love. I mean, I'm not saying that I'm the most in touch with my inner labia, but I ask, how many women have denied themselves basking in the afterglow like a fat and happy seal on a flat stone? I don't know if it was the tentative entities next door, or the reluctant voyeur that this fraud was for, but with her final cries, I felt it only fair. I applaud. Thank you.
Good evening. I'm actually not going to read my own poem tonight. I don't think I have any showstoppers anyway. Probably more snooze inducers. But I mean, a mate of mine, I just found out yesterday, or I found out Wednesday night, died earlier in the week, so I've got my sort of sad, serious face on. So no, it's not in the spirit of the night, but I'm going to read a Christmas poem, kind of. I was trying to figure out what to read this afternoon, and I remembered the bloke in question sent me a Christmas present, and I think it must have been 1998. It was a poetry book by a guy, American, called Mark Doty, called Sweet Machine. And it had this Christmas poem in it. And I remember he had inscribed in the book, "I love this." So I just thought the stars were sort of telling me that I should read this. It's about the speaker of the poem is going to church the local community choir putting on a performance of Handel's Messiah. It's much more about praise of music than praise of Christmas, but I was worried about how fitting it might be, but here we are in a church, and there's going to be lots of cracking music tonight. So I'd like to read this for my mate John and for you. This is by Mark Doty. It's a poem called Messiah Christmas Portions. Over the Methodist roof, the clouds propose a Zion of their own, blazing in this December light, against the steely close of a coastal afternoon. While under the steeple, the choral society prepares to perform Messiah, pouring in their best blacks and whites onto the rake stage. Not steep, really, but from here, the first pew, they're a looming cloud bank of familiar angels. That neighbour who fights operatically with her girlfriend, for one, and the friendly bearded clerk from the post office, tenor trapped in the body of a baritone, the altos from the grocery store, soprano from the t-shirt shop. Today, they're all poise, costume and purpose, conveying the right note of distance and formality. Silence in the hall, anticipatory, as if we're all about to open a gift we're not sure we'll like. How could they compete with sunset's burnished oratorio? Thoughts which vanish when the violins begin. Who'd have thought they'd be so good? Every valley, proclaims the solo tenor, a sleek blonde man I've seen somewhere before, perhaps in the liquor store, shall be exalted. And in his handsome mouth, the word is lifted and opened into more syllables than we could count. Central dilated in a baroque melisma, liquefied, the flowing voice seems to make the unplaned landscape. The text predicts the Lord will heighten and tame. This music demonstrates what it claims. Glory shall be revealed. If art is acceptable evidence, mustn't what lies behind the world be at least as beautiful as the human voice? The tenors lack confidence, and the soloists, half of them anyway, don't have the strength to found the mighty kingdoms these passages propose. But the chorus, all together, equals the sky's burning clouds and seems itself to burn. Commingled powers deeded to a larger centering claim. These aren't anyone we know. Choiring dissolves familiarity in an uppouring rush which will not rest, will not for a moment be still. Aren't we enlarged by the scale of what we're able to desire? Everything, the choir insists, might flame. Inside these wrappings burns another, brighter life, quickened now by song. Hear how it cascades in overlapping, lapidary waves of praise. Still time to change. Merry Christmas.
Hello, everyone. I think I'm going to take this off here. How's everyone doing? What a lineup tonight. Is everyone excited? Yeah, feeling Christmassy? I'm excited. So I'm going to do you want a funny poem or a meaningful poem? Funny. Okay, I'm going to do a funny one for you then, okay. I'd like to take this opportunity to discuss travel pillows. Yep. Travel pillows. The ones that wrap around your neck like life jackets. Fuck knows why these people consider to pack it. Yes, I'm talking about travel neck supports. The inflatable, debatable rubber ring of plastic crap. People seem to think that they're buying some extra comfort. Comfortable? Do I look fucking comfortable to you right now? Lightweight travel support that only supports your fucking ears, makes you look like you've been in a car crash, a neck brace you've been wearing for far too many years. I think it's time we come together to unite, because deep down we all know that travel pillows are shite. Now, I haven't bought one of these incomplete, obsolete donuts, but it's time that you all woke up and saw that they are pointless. They're pointless on a plane. And then you get those people taking them everywhere with, looking like Bo Selecta and W.H. Smith. Now, I have to apologise for something that happened on a specific flight, but I was driven to it. I'd finally seen the light after a delayed check-in and a bag being overcharged, being pushed around at boarding, not smoking for hours, the squeaky lino floors grazing angry thoughts in my mind, my Scottish notes at the Bureau de Change being declined, and children screaming and running around my legs, Candy Crush echoing through departure lounges, travel pillows everywhere. I was completely surrounded. It was enough to send anyone crazy. I entered the aircraft and I squeezed and bundled down the aisle, only to find my flight partner was a travel pillow kind of guy. And he was in my seat. I looked at my ticket, yes, 8A, my window seat. And there he was, reading from a fucking Kindle, treating me like a mug, briefcase under the seat in front, so smug with polished black shoes. I paid an extra $2.50 to see those views. Excuse me, sir, but you're actually in my seat. He looked at me. Well, he tried to. Have you ever seen anyone try and turn their head in a travel pillow? Looks fucking painful. What does it matter? Do you really insist that I move? I could only bring myself to nod. He shuffled on down, shook his head and sighed, made me feel like I was one of the bad guys. I sat down and rested my head by the window, but just before takeoff, I had begun the meltdown. This guy who had the nerve to sit in my seat was breathing like an elephant on heat. A snotty-nosed bastard child behind me was kicking and rocking my chair. A woman 2 rows back was saying her prayers, and a kid in front playing iPad with sound up full blast. Pilots driving on about flight arrival times and forecasts, and the air hostess was patronising and had lipstick on her teeth. The plane starts to rumble from underneath and I couldn't breathe. Jammed up at the window in this floating metal can, shivering from the aircon and still sitting next to this travel pillow man. I can't breathe. The travel pillows are taking up all of the air. I slowly and calmly took out my ear stud, placed it in between my finger and thumb. By this point, my emotions were numb, and I plunged it deep into my neighbour's neck, feeling the air deflate. It felt great. I unbuckled my seatbelt and stood in my chair. We were now 15,000 feet in the air, and I was saying, "Money, you bunch of travel cushion cunts! Who wants the job?" Running down the aisle, popping those blow-up neck supports like they were bombs, breaking into staff quarters before they could catch me, covering myself in in-flight beef teriyaki, covering it all over my chest and face as the pilot calls back up at airbase. I was crunching on a Toblerone sporadically, spraying Britney Spears perfume manically. It was pure, glorious insanity. And I laughed so hard that I cried. I went to jail for the night. Ended up in court, handcuffed through Dubai airport, past baggage conveyor belts, but at least when I went down, it was poetic and heartfelt. I think we should all take a stand against these money-grabbing pillows. Let's pop them all. We will become Ryanair heroes. And to you, pillow man, are you uncomfortable on a plane or a train? Put your head and your hand on a window, or even a friend. Let's put these ineffective cushions to an end. Infiltrate and deflate these waste of space cushions that offer nothing but ear rest solutions. Thanks so much. Have a great night, guys. Merry Christmas.
All right, what's happening? I saw the smoke machine go off. create an ambience here, get some smoke or something? No? All right, then I'll keep it short and sweet. And nobody knows how beautiful you are. That your smile is from leftover hurt and hungover love. They all think you're pretty, and they like the way you hold yourself. You learned that from clenching on to collapsing dreams. And nobody knows how beautiful you are. That your laughter is you crying in silence. Secretly asking today to tell tomorrow not to fuck you over. That was my laughing point. But you know the truth. That things are not always as pretty as it seems when you're scratching on the surface to never get what's in between. But I know how beautiful you are. I know how beautiful you all are. Thank you.
Hello. Merry Christmas, even though it isn't yet. I used to live on Easter Road. I don't now. I lived there for 10 years. And of course, as you well know, Easter Road is the philosophy capital of Edinburgh. And so that's what I'm going to do now. I'm reading them because I don't know them. And I also have to wear glasses because, well, it's only to get my bus pass. These are called the Easter Road Chronicles. 20 sterling jewel, please. So, if you don't believe in God, what do you believe? What? I believe that everything will be revealed. So you think God will reveal his purpose to you? No, I believe that the existence of God will be revealed to me or not. How can you live without believing in the existence of God? You tell me, you're the tobacconist. In the hairdressers, you never look in the mirror when I show you the back of your head. Why is that? Well, I'm not interested really. I never see the back of my head. You also never look in the mirror straight ahead. Yes, I know, I'm not keen on mirrors. Is it because you don't like yourself? No, it's because I don't like my reflection. You are probably one of our oddest customers. Am I? Yes, sometimes I don't show you the mirror, just the back of the mirror, but you never notice. Are all poets as eccentric as you, or are some normal? I don't know. Are all hairdressers interested in where I go on holiday, or is that just you? In Greg's, 2 large lattes, please. 2? You only usually get 1. Yeah. Have you got a visitor? Yeah. Daughter? No. Son? No. Someone else? Yeah. Ooh. Scotmid, do you have any non-well-fired rules? Are you being facetious? No, I'm being inquisitive. We have some well-fired rules that aren't very well-fired. Are you being sarcastic? No, I'm being puckish. The first recorded use of the word puckish in a Scotmid, possibly. Charitable status update. Can I buy one of your chairs? I have guests for Christmas and I'm 1 chair short. No, but you can borrow one. Just bring it back when they're gone. Really? Yeah, really. Well, that's good of you. Well, it's Christmas. And one day you'll have more chairs than family.
This is called The Dance. One hot night in Dubrovnik, in a room painted white, a little mosquito darkened the light. The wee thing faltered like it was fresh from the egg and seemed to do a polka as it wound around my head. I watched with mild interest as it tumbled to and fro until, like a crumb from a biscuit, it was right there on my pillow. So a dance would be had as the drums hit the beat, the age-old waltz of monster and meat. It began as a tango with me in the lead. My hand slammed the pillow as the monster ducked its meat. It was gone in a flash, but the dance had begun, and the sneaky wee bastard sunk its snout in my bum. "You filthy wee fucker!" I screamed at the night and leapt from my bed, hot for the fight. I scanned the room for weapons and found to my delight my trusty brown journal and the room painted white. Naked as a fairy, with journal in hand, I crouched like a panther and whispered, "Wee man, wee man." But its tiny little wings, oh so gossamer thin, didn't even whisper as they settled on skin. When the second chunk was taken, a fear came with the fire. It was more than just my blood this little thing desired. "You are Beelzebub the midget, your mother was hatched in shite. Stand and fight me like a man," instead of taking flight. Much to my surprise, as if he heard my call, Beelzebub the midget landed on the wall. I stood there for a moment, then leant towards its snout. "I shit you not right now," I heard that midget shout. "Come and get me, monkey, you're not the heart at all. I've feasted on your da, I've shat upon your maw. My hand it moves so quickly, I think it's from the shock. That now upon this page is a very strange full stop." Thank you very much.
I'm just going to huckle them all back on for one big collective round of applause. That's all right, aye? Kevin Cadwallender's gone missing, but Kevin Cadwallender, Alan Gillis, Iona Lee, Kayus Bankole, Hollie McNish, Leyla Josephine, William Letford.